I want to speak to the part of you that's tired, the part of you that feels like you've been showing up, doing the work, staying hopeful, and yet nothing. You pray, you meditate, you visualize, and still you ask, why is nothing changing? Why am I not being answered? Let me offer you a new lens, not from the surface of your current reality, but from the deeper intelligence that governs all creation, the same intelligence that grew you from a single cell. That keeps your heart beating, that orchestrates galaxies without your permission. That intelligence is not ignoring you, it's aligning you. You see, in our three-dimensional experience of time and space, we've been taught to expect loud signals, immediate results, visible changes, and linear progress. But the divine doesn't operate by our calendars. It works in silence, in unseen dimensions, in the quantum field where your miracle is not being delayed, it's being designed. You're not stuck. You're not forgotten. You are in preparation. Now listen carefully, because here's where you reclaim your power. Every moment you spend in frustration, doubt, or fear, you're anchoring yourself to your past, to what has been. But every time you choose trust, even when there's no evidence, you're tuning yourself to a new frequency. A frequency where miracles aren't just possible, they're inevitable. The silence, it's not punishment, it's sacred gestation. When nothing seems to be happening, everything is happening. Neurons are rewiring, hormones are balancing, emotions are integrating. Life is rerouting circumstances to match your highest destiny. But here's the catch: that new reality cannot meet the old you. It needs the version of you who has grown through the silence, who has chosen trust over reaction, vision over victimhood. So if it feels like God is silent, maybe it's because He's working beneath the surface of your awareness, rerouting your life around your limited expectations. Maybe your miracle is too big to arrive on your timeline. Maybe it needs you to be still just a little longer so that when it comes, you can actually receive it. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to analyze the silence. This is the time to become the person your miracle is searching for. Don't just wait, prepare. Don't just ask, embody. Because you're not being ignored, you're being aligned. The silence you're in is not empty. It's full of intelligence, love, and coordination. And the moment you stop resisting it is the moment you start hearing the whisper that's been speaking all along. So close your eyes tonight, not with worry, but with wonder. Because the universe hasn't forgotten you. God hasn't overlooked you. He's just making sure you're ready when the door opens, and trust me, it will open. Silence is not absence, it's alignment. What we often interpret as a void, a pause, or divine neglect is, in truth, a space of immense activity and intelligence. When life seems quiet, when prayers feel unanswered and nothing on the outside appears to be changing, it's easy to fall into the illusion that nothing is happening at all. But in those very moments of silence, something far greater is occurring behind the scenes. Silence is the medium through which the universe reorganizes, recalibrates, and aligns the pieces of a higher order outcome that your conscious mind cannot yet comprehend. We live in a world that rewards noise, productivity, and visible results. Stillness is often mistaken for stagnation. Yet in nature, the most profound growth occurs in silence. Seeds germinate underground before they break through the surface, and caterpillars dissolve entirely before emerging as butterflies. These transitions are silent, but they are never inactive. The same is true in your life. The silence you're experiencing may be a sign that alignment is taking place, emotionally, neurologically, spiritually. Things are shifting on levels you can't see, drawing your reality toward a version that better reflects your highest good. When you resist silence, you interrupt the alignment process. You force outcomes, make impulsive decisions, or fall back into patterns that feel familiar but no longer serve you. But when you embrace silence, when you stop labeling it as absence or rejection, you begin to sync with the deeper rhythms of creation. In that space, your nervous system settles, your awareness expands, and you become available to guidance that doesn't come through noise, but through knowing. The alignment you seek isn't being delayed, it's being refined. Every silent moment is an act of divine recalibration. The divine works beyond time and visibility. Human perception is shaped by linearity past, present, future, and so we expect divine movement to follow the same logic. We assume that if we can't see progress, feel it, or measure it, then nothing is happening. But the intelligence that governs life is not constrained by our sensory limitations or our concept of time. It operates in a dimension where cause and effect don't unfold in a straight line, but rather through complex, interconnected patterns that often remain hidden until they fully emerge. Just because you can't see the mechanics doesn't mean the mechanics aren't working. The divine is orchestrating outcomes on levels far deeper than your current awareness. Think of how subatomic particles behave in quantum physics, existing in multiple states, interacting across vast distances, responding to observation itself. Reality is far more fluid than it appears, and the divine, as the architect of all that is, engages with reality not as a set of fixed circumstances, but as a field of infinite potential. In that field, time collapses, and what looks like a delay may actually be precision. We often look for signs in the physical world, a message, a shift, a door opening, and when those signs don't appear, we doubt. But the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Much like a star that still shines long after it has died, some of the most powerful divine movements occur beyond the reach of our immediate perception. They ripple through layers of consciousness, energy, and intention before surfacing into our experience. The unseen doesn't mean unreal. What is invisible to the eye may be deeply active in the unseen architecture of your future reality. You are not being delayed, you're being prepared. What feels like a standstill in your life is often a precise and necessary process of internal restructuring. We are conditioned to expect results on demand, to move from intention to outcome as quickly as possible. But divine intelligence is not transactional, it is transformational, and transformation takes time. The delay you perceive is not punishment or failure. It is a space where you are being made ready for what you've asked for. When you set a powerful intention for healing, breakthrough, love, abundance, you're not just asking for something to happen *to you. You're inviting something to happen *through you. That requires alignment. It requires your nervous system, your emotional body, your beliefs, and your energetic frequency to come into coherence with the thing you desire. If you were to receive it prematurely, you wouldn't be able to hold it, sustain it, or even recognize it. Preparation is not a passive state. It's a rewiring of who you are on every level so you can become a match for what is meant for you. Think of it as a spiritual infrastructure being built. You can't see it, but layer by layer, new capacity is being formed within you: resilience, trust, clarity, boundaries, depth. The weight isn't empty, it's sacred. You're not being overlooked. You're being strengthened. Life is stretching you into the shape of the thing you desire so that when it arrives, there's no dissonance. You're not confused, overwhelmed, or unworthy, you're congruent. That's why it takes time. Not because you're behind, but because what's coming requires a deeper, wiser, more expanded version of you, and the preparation is the answer before the outcome ever arrives. Trust activates the quantum field of possibilities. In the unseen layers of reality, beyond what we can observe with the five senses, exists a field of infinite potential, a space where every possible version of your life already exists as a probability. What determines which of those probabilities becomes your reality isn't luck, effort alone, or chance, it's coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and energy are aligned with a clear intention and sustained trust, you begin to interact with that field in a creative, not reactive way. Trust is more than blind hope. It is a neurological and energetic signal that tells the field, I am ready. When you truly trust, your body shifts. Your stress hormones calm, your brainwaves regulate, your heart becomes coherent. You move from survival into creation. This physiological change communicates to the universe that you are no longer needing to control outcomes based on fear, but instead you are harmonizing with a new future before it even arrives. That signal, the one generated by deep trust, is what draws the unseen into the seen. The quantum field responds not to your words, but to your frequency. If you say you believe but feel anxious and doubtful, the field mirrors that incoherence. But when you feel as if what you've asked for is already on its way, without needing to chase, beg, or manipulate it, you collapse time. Possibilities become probable. Trust, then, is a gateway. It's a posture of receiving, a tuning of your inner world to match the frequency of what you desire most. It's not passive surrender, it's an intentional state of alignment where your inner knowing outweighs outer evidence. The more consistent the trust, the more magnetic your field becomes to the realities waiting to emerge. Miracles require internal transformation first. We often seek change on the outside, a shift in circumstances, a healing in the body, a breakthrough in finances, a resolution to something that feels beyond our control. But the architecture of any miracle begins within. Before something can materialize in the physical world, the conditions inside of you must match the vibration of what you are calling in. That means your thoughts, emotions, and subconscious programming must evolve to reflect the outcome you wish to experience. The universe doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to who you are being. If you're asking for abundance while operating from scarcity, or seeking love while carrying wounds of unworthiness, the mismatch between your inner state and your desired reality creates resistance. Transformation begins when you bring awareness to those inner contradictions and choose to shift them. That process can feel slow, even painful, because it requires letting go of familiar identities and emotional habits. But every release makes room for new alignment. Internal transformation is not about perfection, it's about congruence. When your nervous system feels safe with the new story you're telling, when your body believes what your mind is visualizing, and when your energy becomes coherent with possibility rather than protection, you move into the space where miracles become natural outcomes. You begin to live from a state of expectancy, not desperation, and from that space, you influence the quantum field in a measurable way. Reality responds because you've already changed internally. The truth is, the miracle is often less about receiving something new and more about becoming someone new. That shift from seeking to embodying is the gateway. The miracle arrives when the version of you who asked for it no longer needs proof to believe it's already possible. Old patterns can't hold new realities. Every new level of your life demands a new level of consciousness, and that means the beliefs, behaviors, and emotional habits that once kept you safe may now be the very things holding you back. We often want change without releasing what's familiar. But transformation requires surrender not of your desires, but of the version of you that was shaped by past limitations. If your internal framework is built on fear, control, or scarcity, then no matter how much you try to shift your external world, it will eventually snap back to match your baseline identity. Real change means disidentifying with the stories that no longer serve you. It means observing your automatic reactions, your emotional triggers, and your self-talk, and asking if they reflect the future you or the wounded past you. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is usually not a matter of time or luck. It's a matter of identity. If you keep showing up as the person shaped by survival, the life that's shaped by purpose cannot land. Old patterns are like energetic containers. They were built to house a particular frequency, often one that aligns with past trauma, programming, or fear-based conditioning. But new realities operate on higher frequencies, frequencies of trust, openness, abundance, and creativity. If the container doesn't evolve, the frequency of your future cannot stay. That's why new opportunities often seem to fall apart. Not because they were wrong, but because the internal structure wasn't yet prepared to hold them. Letting go of old patterns isn't about shame or blame. It's about upgrading your internal environment to match the future you are stepping into. Until that happens, the new reality you seek will always feel just out of reach. Faith is choosing vision over visible evidence. It's the ability to hold an inner knowing even when your current reality gives you every reason to doubt. Most people wait for their circumstances to validate their beliefs, but faith works in reverse. You first believe and then the evidence comes. This isn't wishful thinking, it's energetic causality. When you anchor into a vision of your desired future and refuse to collapse it under the weight of what is, you're engaging with a deeper level of creation. You're becoming a generator of experience, not just a responder to it. Vision is the blueprint. It's the image, feeling, and frequency of what you want to live into. Evidence is the result of that inner alignment expressed over time. When you allow what you see to dictate what you believe, you stay bound to what's already manifested, which is just the result of old thoughts, choices, and emotions. Faith interrupts that cycle. It introduces a new possibility, a higher signal, and it demands that you prioritize the invisible over the obvious. Living by faith means aligning your behavior, language, and energy with your vision before it shows up. It means acting as if, feeling as if, and thinking as if your miracle is already in motion. This kind of coherence sends a powerful signal into the quantum field, one that doesn't beg, chase, or doubt. It trusts it knows, and in doing so, it creates the conditions for the unseen to become seen. It's easy to have faith when things are improving, but true faith is forged when nothing is moving, and you choose to hold the vision anyway. That choice isn't delusion, it's creation. It's how new realities begin, long before they become visible to the eye. Stillness is sacred, not stagnant. In a world addicted to urgency, movement, and constant output, stillness is often misunderstood. We're taught that if we're not doing something, fixing something, or chasing something, we're falling behind. But the deeper intelligence of life doesn't operate in chaos. It moves through rhythm, cycles, and balance. Stillness is not the absence of progress, it's the womb of transformation. It's the space where integration happens, where clarity emerges, where energy recalibrates. In stillness, your nervous system has a chance to regulate. Your thoughts slow down, your awareness expands, and your connection to the present moment deepens. It is only in that space that you can actually hear not just the noise of your mind, but the subtle guidance of your intuition. The silence becomes a tuning fork, allowing you to align with what's truly important instead of reacting from habit or fear. The most powerful movements in life often begin with stillness. Just like the deepest part of an ocean remains calm even during a storm above. Being still doesn't mean you've stopped growing. It means you're no longer trying to force growth. You're allowing space for the deeper work to take root, the kind of change that can't be seen immediately, but will redefine everything when it blooms. Just as seeds require stillness in the dark soil before breaking through into the light, your next level may be forming quietly beneath the surface. Stillness asks you to surrender your timeline, your need to explain or prove, and your urge to rush the process. It invites you to trust that something is forming, something intelligent, something guided. You are not waiting in vain, you are simply resting in the intelligence of timing and allowing life to rearrange itself around your becoming. The universe responds to who you become. Your external circumstances are reflections, not random events. When you focus solely on changing what's outside of you, your job, your relationships, your finances, without evolving your inner world, you often find yourself stuck in a cycle of repeating the same patterns. True transformation begins from within. The person you are, at your core, radiates a certain frequency that magnetizes experiences, people, and opportunities that match that energy. This means that your beliefs, emotions, and habits create a gravitational field around you. If you cultivate fear, doubt, and resistance, you unconsciously attract situations that echo those vibrations. Conversely, when you cultivate trust, confidence, and openness, you align yourself with possibilities that support growth and expansion. It's not about forcing change, but about becoming a new version of yourself that naturally draws the reality you desire. The universe doesn't discriminate between what you want and what you resist. It simply matches your dominant energy. That's why two people can ask for the same thing but have vastly different outcomes. It all depends on who they are being in the process. When you grow into the version of yourself that embodies what you seek, whether that's peace, abundance, love, or health, the universe flows to meet you there. This process is ongoing and dynamic. As you evolve, your environment shifts to mirror your internal state. Sometimes that means old relationships or jobs fall away because they no longer serve your higher vibration. Other times, new doors open seemingly out of nowhere because you've changed enough internally to recognize and step into those opportunities. Your power lies in who you choose to become today, not just in what you hope will happen tomorrow. The universe is always responding, always reflecting back the energy you emit. Becoming the person you want to be is the most direct path to creating the life you desire. Your miracle is already in motion. Stay ready. Sometimes it feels like life is standing still, like the answers, the breakthroughs, or the blessings you've been longing for are stuck just out of reach. But what you don't see is that beneath the surface, unseen forces are already at work, arranging circumstances, people, and opportunities in perfect timing to bring your miracle into your experience. The process is often invisible because it's happening on levels beyond the physical, energetic, emotional, and spiritual dimensions, where the groundwork is laid before anything manifests in form. Being ready means more than just waiting. It means preparing yourself mentally, emotionally, and energetically to receive what is coming. Often, the reason a blessing seems delayed is not because it isn't on its way, but because you haven't yet shifted into the frequency that can hold it. Miracles require you to be a certain way to receive them: open, grounded, confident, and aligned with the new reality. That readiness is cultivated in the quiet moments of patience, trust, and inner work. When you stay ready, you are alert to the subtle signs and invitations that others might overlook. You're able to recognize opportunities, synchronicities, and shifts in momentum as part of a larger unfolding plan. Staying ready also means maintaining your faith and hope even when circumstances suggest otherwise. It's choosing to believe in what is not yet visible and holding space for the impossible to become possible. Miracles rarely come as loud announcements. They often arrive as gentle shifts, small openings that lead to profound change. By staying ready, you become a participant in the creation of your miracle, rather than a passive observer waiting for it to happen. This active readiness accelerates the process, aligning you with the perfect timing and flow of life's intelligence.